Today on CityCast Pittsburgh, when exactly is it fall in the city? I don't mean meteorologically or by the calendar. When does it feel like fall to you? And when it happens, what cozy treats do you reach for to make the best of the season? It's Thursday, August 31st. I'm Megan Harris, and here's what Pittsburgh is talking about. I'm with the CityCast Pod Squad, producer Sophia Lowe. Hello.
Hey.
I like the rhyme there. That's going to be fun for me. And our fearless leader, Mallory Falk. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's Thursday, so we're talking about food. All right, Jens, what's your answer? When does your brain tell you that it's fall?
I think it's really a sensory thing. It's like whenever you can first put on a sweater, when there's that kind of fall burnt campfire smell in the air. It's like when your senses really tell you that fall has arrived.
Sophia, what about you?
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with Mallory on the sweater thing. I usually say it's when pumpkin spice starts coming out, but now that it's happening in mid-August. Yeah, but I mean,
pumpkin
I'm still
spice
drinking
now marks
it.
the start of back to school season.
See, school is back, football is back, there's Halloween candy and decorations. They've been out for weeks. And the temperatures aren't exactly cooperating, so like the sweater thing doesn't work for me yet. But to me, it's fall. Like it's fall. It'll feel more like fall when it's cold and I feel like the crisp in the air and the leaves start to fall. But like, I still think we're there. I like to celebrate early.
That's fair, Megan. Like that is not my definition of fall, but clearly it's how a lot of people define fall, including my neighbors who already have this life-size human skeleton towering over their front lawn. So
That thing is so expensive, though. You need it out for longer than just Halloween. I've looked into buying it.
That's true. Got to get your money's worth.
I support the people that like put Christmas decorations on the skeleton and they're like, nope, you're part of the yard now.
Multi-seasonal. Also, I said life-size, but it's actually gargantuan. It's like monster size. But anyway, so others have determined that we're officially in fall, and that's where we're going to go with today's episode.
Yeah, we wanted to give folks some comforting fare to look forward to for the next few weeks. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of fall menus coming, but these are some of our personal favorites that we look forward to every year.
Yeah, and I want to issue a self-correction here because on last week's Friday News Roundup, I said I will not be partaking in the pumpkin spice the week it comes out, that I try to like preserve the specialness of having something be limited time only. But starting to think about my favorite fall treats, preparing for this conversation, I changed my mind and I want all of this right now, right away.
Sophia, do you have any caveats or self-reporting you feel inclined to share?
Nope, I'm ready to jump in on the fall treats.
Well, if you heard our Veg Fest episode, we're following the same outline. So a few things to get you going in the morning, breakfast, brunch-style treats, then our preferred midday snack combinations. They are not quite what you think. And then we're going to finish with some comforting suppers. So morning first, Sophia, you want to kick us off?
Yeah, sure. So I don't really eat breakfast, but I always need coffee. And Commonplace Coffee has so many fall specials. Each location has its own specials, which makes it super fun if you're like me and you want to go everywhere and drink everything. But Garfield is the one that's closest to me, and the brown sugar apple spice, so good. That's a latte. There's also a maple cinnamon one that I will probably try a lot too. I think maple should really be the fall flavor of the season, not pumpkin spice, but that's okay.
Ooh, hot take.
Yeah, maple is just perfect. But the barista talked up the brown sugar apple spice one first, so I tried that and also highly recommend it.
I was going to ask if you'd already like broken the seal. Like, are you already into fall coffee mode?
Absolutely. I think this Friday I'm also going to go back. I need to try the maple cinnamon one now.
Mallory, what about you?
Yeah, so I love to start a fall morning with some apple butter on toast. To me, apple butter really marks the start of the season. And so I like getting mine from Triple B Farms in Monongahela. This is a little bit far outside of Pittsburgh, but you can also order their products online. So you can either have like a nice fall field trip if you want to see some foliage, head out there, or just have it delivered to your door. But so they've got great apple butter and then also all these other great fall treats like pumpkin butter, apple butter barbecue sauce, apple bourbon maple syrup. Sophia, maybe that's your style as the maple patron on our show. There's pumpkin spice maple syrup if you want to go that route. So just anything like really delicious that you can spread on bread, on pancakes, whatever. And then in terms of toast, I love to pick up some fresh bread from Mediterra at the Bloomfield Farmers Market, which is a great spot to hit up on like a nice fall day. And their sesame semolina loaf is one of my favorites.
Oh, I didn't know about that one. I'll have to look out for it. Mine is a classic, I think. The Sorgel's Orchard's apple cider donuts, which we learned earlier this year, technically available year-round. That was new information. But I think they're special. They feel like fall to me. Like if you go pumpkin picking or apple picking at any point during the season or want to check out any of their fall markets, they always have lots of flowers and things available. Picking up a dozen apple cider donuts. They're super cheap and delicious and baked on site, covered in sugar. They're just a big marker of the season for me.
Yeah, when we did our donut throwdown and picked our favorite donuts in Pittsburgh, Sorgel's was my top pick. So I love those year round, but this is really the most appropriate time for them.
For sure. Hey Pittsburgh, it's Megan. If you're craving a delicious scoop on a hot summer day, get yourself up to Bakery Square. It's the new local home for Jenny's Ice Cream in Pittsburgh. I know, it's sort of sacrilegious here to love an Ohio brand this much. But y'all, I've been a Jenny stan for years. Their flavors are so creative. The brown butter almond brittle, the brambleberry crisp, the darkish chocolate. They have dairy-free and gluten-free options too, and they'll be dropping new flavors every week now through August 10th. I am so stoked that I can finally get my from scratch Jenny's Fix right here in Pittsburgh at Target, Whole Foods, even Giant Eagle. Find all their flavors and fun facts at Jenny's, that's JENIS.com. So moving on to the afternoon, like lunchtime-ish, daytime-ish. Sophia, what's your top pick?
So like your apple cider donuts, this is something that you can get outside of the fall season too, but this feels very fall to me. My pick is the carrot cake with espresso buttercream from Butterwood. Oh. Yeah, I think there might also be cinnamon in it. It just feels very fall, feels very cozy. It's really big. It could be lunch, or if you're like me, just eat a big slice over a couple of days.
Their slices of cake are generous. They're enormous. And they're also open late, which is kind of interesting for a dessert shop.
Yeah.
We don't have many late night eat options in Pittsburgh, so bakery might not seem like the most classic go-to for late night food, but this is what we're working with.
The vibes in there are super cozy, though. Like lots of lush fabrics, some nice plants, some books. It feels like, what do they call it? The bakery consortium. Like it feels like appropriate for that name, you know?
It feels very fancy. It's great.
Mallory, what's your top pick?
So my pick would be going to Paige's Dairy Mart for their fall menu.
Oh, yeah, because you really don't have long to pick that up. It's like that perfect window between when Paige's is still technically open, but they offer fall things.
Exactly. And this year's fall menu isn't live yet. I'm not sure exactly when they're going to release it. But they have had some really incredible offerings in the past, like an apple cider float and then just classic maple soft serve.
Sophia's entire face lit up.
They have the maple soft serve all year round. I still haven't tried it, though. There are too many options.
Yeah, I actually didn't realize that the maple soft serve was available all year round, because what I was going to recommend if you want to get in the fall spirit before they drop their fall menu, I went there recently and got the cinnamon bun sundae, and those like warm chunks of cinnamon bun in it did make it feel like a cozy fall treat, even though it was like 80 degrees out. So you can get your fall serving that way.
Well, I'm going to stay on trend then and suggest a local ice cream maker, Brewster's. They have already released their fall flavors, so you can get summer flavors and fall flavors for right now. My favorite personally is the caramel apple crunch. It's really tasty. They've got a cinnamon bun one. But if I'm being honest, I think ice cream is more my chaser than my main. My actual recommendation, if you're into it, is day drinking for fall. You can get your pumpkin beer fix at Southern Tier. They have an amazing patio. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the pumpkin beer that you can get. It's available nationally, but it's so sweet. So if you like a sweet pumpkin beer, they're the one-stop shop. There's also another great one on the North Shore, Mike's Beer Bar, that has like, it's totally devoted to craft beers. So you can get stuff from like all over our region. Beerport in Lawrenceville has great grab and go bottle options. And then also in Lawrenceville, although they have a lot of locations, is Arsenal Cider. So if you're not a beer person, maybe you like cider, they always have a lot of fun flavors. They always have a pear one, for example, which feels very fall to me. So you can snag a bottle there and then sit outside. Also, one more, Penn Brew, I think, has one of the best Oktoberfests in the region. It's like that right balance of fall flavors without being super sweet. I love it.
Those are great recommendations. And Megan, backing up to Brewster's, hot tip. I have no idea if they're still doing this because this was like 20 some years ago, more than 20 years ago. But as a fall birthday girl, a girl with an October birthday, one year I got to have my birthday party at Brewster's, and they let us add the Oreos into their pumpkin Oreo ice cream. We got to mix it in. So
that's so sweet.
If you have a little kid with a fall birthday, check out whether this is something they still offer. It seems like maybe it might violate some health and safety codes. So I don't know if they've eliminated that in the time since I was turning 10. But
they've got a bunch of cool flavors. Like deep dish apple pie, gingerbread man, something called Hallow Scream. It's like pumpkin ice cream with stuff in it. It's a bunch of cool stuff.
But if you do want actual lunch, I recommend making your own fall grilled cheeses at home. I like to make pear and brie grilled cheeses, or someone hit me up if someone does that in Pittsburgh and I can just buy it. But if you're out on the strip in the weekends, yeah, carne asada at the PA market has sweet potato empanadas, but they're usually, I guess this could also be a dinner pick too, since they're open on some weekdays at night. But if you want it for lunch, you have to head there on the weekends.
Not to make this an entire Strip District show, but also shout out to Helltown Brewing. They finally finished converting that spot. It was like a parking lot across from Woolies. And it's wonderful. Like there's an outdoor space. And if the weather's nice, they have bands. There's also a million televisions inside and lots of local and imported beverages. So that's like a space that's fun. Also, just for camping, I cannot recommend enough the Helltown Brown. Like it just feels like fall to me. Hey Pittsburgh, did you know we're almost halfway to St. Patrick's Day? The 32nd annual Pittsburgh Irish Festival is taking over the Kerry Blast Furnaces in Swissvale again for 3 days of live music, Irish food and beverages, a huge maker market, kids crafts and games, axe throwing, plus short tours of the historic steelmaking site itself. You can even learn about Gaelic sports with on-site lessons and demos, genealogy, or take a virtual reality tour of the Cliffs of Moher. I've seen the real cliffs, and trust me, it'll be great to skip the whole windbreaker thing. And don't worry about Yin's teams. There's going to be a huge big screen to watch the Pirates and the Steelers games that weekend. It's all happening September 8th, 9th, and 10th. Find tickets and more at pghirishfest.org. So moving on to nighttime, what's everybody's favorite? We'll try to keep this part short.
Noodle soup makes me feel so warm and cozy. I was at Everyday Noodles earlier this week and I was sweating by the end of my bowl. But obviously, once the weather starts getting colder, it is super cozy. It's also a little nostalgic for me since I worked at a hand pull noodle shop in high school. So,
oh my goodness.
Not pulling the noodles, to clarify. I was a server there.
That's like a master craft, the noodle pulling.
Yeah, that totally different career, but that's also kind of going into the nostalgia makes me feel like I'm back home. And literally everything on the menu is good. Also, the soup dumplings, can't forget those.
Always.
I'm going to keep it noodly, pasta-y themed. And this is actually a recommendation I would make if you want to just like have some nice fall flavors on hand anytime you want to maybe make dinner at home. Penn Mac in the Strip District. Again, this is a very strip-centered
The strip
show.
is primed for fall. That's what we've learned from this.
But so Penn Mac, you can actually buy frozen versions of their pumpkin and mascarpone or mascarpone if you're competing on Chopped, ravioli, or their butternut squash spaghetti. And so I like to just like get these in bulk, frozen, keep them in the freezer. And then if there's like a cool fall evening when I'm just really craving some autumnal pasta, I can make some of this on the stove at home.
I feel like that means we have to mention the like primo pasta in the strip, the fall pasta, Denoya's gnocchi pumpkin bowl. Have y'all seen photos of this thing?
Yes.
It is literally served inside a pumpkin. Please look it up.
I'm getting that.
Are you going to get it? It looks intense. I've never actually worked up the nerve to order it.
Can I take the pumpkin home with me if I don't finish it? Like, how does carryout work? Like, how do I box up my leftovers?
I don't know. We should ask. And then, of course, a Pittsburgh classic, I think, is Mad Mex's Gobblerito, which should appear sometime soon, I think.
But I'm not familiar with this. What is this?
Wait, what? You're a Pittsburgh native. Okay, so
I'm a Pittsburgh native, but I also lived in West Texas. And so I'm sorry to say I have not been to Mad Mex since returning.
I think you need to expand your horizons and bring your two loves together. The Gobblerito is kind of an abomination, but in the best way. If you're a meat eater, of course, it's a burrito with turkey and stuffing and mashed potatoes and corn all wrapped together and covered in gravy. It is a classic Pittsburgh treat, I think.
I feel like I just lost my Pittsburgh card or my Pittsburgh card something for not being aware of this.
Yeah, it's if nothing else, we should go down just so you can like take a bite of like the vegetarian end. I don't know.
Well, if you have any fall recommendations, we would love to hear from you.
Definitely. Please let us know your favorites. We're at CityCastPGH on Instagram, or you can text or call us. We promise we never answer. We're just going to listen to what you say at 412-212-8893. That's all for today here on CityCast Pittsburgh. If you're liking the show, please tell someone and get in touch if you want. We're always looking for ideas for those Thursday food shows. Make sure you're subscribed to our Hey Pittsburgh newsletter. We will be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Sophia, would you try a Gobblerito?
I went through a lot of feelings when you were describing that. It sounded good, but I don't know how I feel about the gravy on top.
You can ask for no gravy. No gravy is an option for you.
Yeah, but I feel like if I want the whole experience, I need the gravy.
My favorite part of the Gobblerito is always the stray black bean or two that's hidden somewhere in the whole thing. It kind of feels like finding the baby in the king cake.